What is going on, everybody? We're here to talk Cobra Kai's final 5 episodes. I'm here with Scott. If you guys know us, you know that we've been fans. And the last 5 episodes had a lot of predictability to them, at least for me. But
Yeah.
I loved every second of everything we got. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. We were like calling out like, oh, no, this is going to happen. Now this is going to happen. But you know what? Like, that's kind of typical like 80s movie like plot lines. You're not there for like any kind of deep twists or turns or whatever. You're just there for the ride and the enjoyment. And it delivered, you know, 10 times over my expectations in terms of enjoyment, for sure.
Yeah, guys, we're going to get into some spoilers, so just be prepared. But I didn't see the big deaths coming.
I thought those felt kind of weird and they felt kind of like detached. Like after that happens, there's like one guy who's like, "Where's Silver?" and they don't mention it again. And like especially after Johnny has that really like emotional scene with Kreese, the fact that he doesn't find out and they don't like touch on that at all was a little weird to me.
Well, they said that they filmed a scene where, when they're showing the newspapers in the last episode, there's one that says missing. It shows Silver's face, and then you see Kreese grab the newspaper and then walk away with it. But then when they watch the explosion, they're like, "There's no way that he survived that. Like, there's none. We can't add that to the end because it doesn't make any sense." But
Yeah,
I saw an interview with them. They're like, you don't see the body, so anything can happen in the future.
yeah, I was definitely like, again, that's going back to like the 80s kind of schlock as like, okay, they could still be alive. Yeah, you saw the explosion, but you didn't actually see them die or whatever. So I was like, you know what, whatever. If that's how it ends, that's how it ends. But you're right, they
I
could
think
definitely
you
keep that
predicted
open
it.
for the future.
I think you predicted it when we talked about the last 5 that Johnny was going to somehow end up back in the Cobra Kai stuff. And I think that was you. And yeah,
I think
sure enough,
so.
exactly what we got.
I made some predictions about like dojos merging, and I can't remember if I thought that the Iron Dragons were going to merge with Cobra Kai, but yeah, the whole scene of them walking out in their Cobra Kai gis was pure fan service, but it definitely landed super well.
Yeah, even Machio in it. He looked good in it too.
Yeah, which is funny because I think they said that like way back in season 1, like my dad would never wear a Cobra Kai gi or whatever. I keep wanting to say jersey. So there was some cool like foreshadowing and stuff like way back then. I don't know if they had this planned. Probably not at that point, but yeah, no, they all looked great in their black gis with the snakes on them.
Dude, oh my god, I'm sad this show is over. Like it needed to wrap up at least the kids portion of this storyline, but I'm still sad to see it go because I want more Johnny. Like I hope we get something else eventually, and they definitely set it up for more. Like the entire ending of this series is somebody on Three Geeks last night. Max asked me if it set up the new Karate Kid movie. I said no, actually they wrap up Machio pretty well in this. I said it's Johnny's story that they leave completely open at the end to continue.
With him starting up the Cobra Kai again, but them basically being like, sister dojos or whatever. It's like, oh, you learn Cobra Kai and then you go over to Miyagi-Do to learn your defense
for the balance.
Yeah,
I like that too. That they essentially become like business partners at the end.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, you're right. They definitely leave things like pretty open. Like not, you're right. They definitely like wrapped everybody up, but everyone's in a place where they could easily do another show with any of the characters, really. And I guess my prediction is the show's already doing really well. It's getting good ratings, a good viewership, but they're probably going to wait to see the reception for the new movie before they make any plans for any further like spin-off shows or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. It just had so much fun. Like it's not even. It's hard to express how much fun I had watching this series, and especially one thing I loved about the last 5 episodes is there was zero conflict between Johnny and Daniel, none, and I really dug that. Finally,
I was off on one of my predictions because Silver hands him the card, and I'm like, oh, Daniel's going to find the card and it's going to cause some kind of drama between them, but it didn't. And the same thing with like the note that Miguel finds with Sam going to Okinawa. It's like, oh, there's going to be now he's about to fight, but now he's like in his head with the drama. But like they all handle it really well, which I
I
like, and
really
just
like
get to the fighting. I was like, I don't have time for more like interpersonal like conflict and drama. Like this is the last 5 episodes. Like let's just get to the fighting and wrap this up. Like
Yeah, they all learn to be adults and mature in the span of the
yeah.
last 5 episodes. But
If this wasn't the final season, that would definitely be like, yeah, like a 2-3 episode arc of like them trying to wrestle with their feelings.
what do you think of the Miyagi cameo?
Again, it didn't bug me as much because it was like a dream, so of course things are going to be weird. But I thought this show could have done without it, or they had a lot of good shots where you can tell it's him by the profile, but his face is in shadow. And I think if they had kept it like that and never actually showed him like talking or whatever, because it just looked so bad. Like it looked even worse than the last time they did this with like the CGI, and that was
But
like just a quick split second. But this was, it's just weird looking.
It's it is. I will give them. It's the best I've seen this technology used thus far. But yeah, I mean, I agree. They should have just kept it in the shadows. We would have, inferred the same either way.
Mm-hmm. It just felt kind of pointless to me. Like, I don't know. I understand it was like showcasing Daniel's struggles with coming to terms with like, Miyagi as a person versus the ideal he's had in his head, all his life, which isn't interesting. It was also interesting that they never really delved into the death at the tournament when he was in it, when Miyagi was in it. Like they didn't never really went into that, which is fine. Like there's not always a right answer for it.
Well, I know there's a Miyagi prequel being discussed. Maybe they're saving it for that. But yeah, I don't really have any complaints about the last 5 episodes. I don't think.
The only thing that I thought was so outlandish is he's going through all this turmoil about like the robbery and Miyagi like getting in trouble and blah blah blah, and he goes through all this rigmarole and he gets captured at one point. And it turns out his mom just knew the story the whole time. Like, and she's like, "Oh, he never told you this story? Yeah, I've known this entire time." Like, it's just so funny.
I thought that too. It's like, man, just have a conversation with your mom. I found this thing.
Yeah, just call up your mom and it would have been fine.
He was just getting his stuff back.
Yeah. And I don't know if they did that for laughs, if like they intentionally did it as like a comedic thing. Like he went through all this trouble and it turns out like someone really close to him knew the entire time. Or if they're like, we got to wrap this up. We need to like hand wave this away really quick.
I know.
But either way, I thought it was funny.
They leaked it the day before the episode's release that Hilary Swank was not returning. And, that sucks. But I guess they tried. She turned it down. I'm surprised she turned it down because it's such a hit show. Maybe just the next Karate Kid doesn't have the same memories for her as it does for some.
Yeah, I was wholly expecting when he was at the restaurant with the fly and the chopsticks, I expected her to come and catch it because I didn't see the leak that she wasn't in it. So I was like, that would be like the way to end it and keep it open for the movie or keep it open for whatever. But I did like Johnny just coming in and squashing the fly. Like, all right, let's go. That was also a good moment.
They did a really good job of letting Kreese earn his redemption a little bit at the end. I bought it. I didn't think I was going to buy it. Like I knew a Kreese redemption was coming. I'm glad it didn't.
They've been teasing at it for a while.
Stayed a douchebag for a long time, but I'm glad that Kreese got his moment, and they did it really, really well.
Yeah, it was enough that it, like, if that was the way his character is going to go out, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, he's not dead.
I don't know. Yeah, same with like Silver. People have been talking for like 2 seasons that they thought he was going to come out with some kind of like terminal illness reveal, and then again, I didn't think it like played too much into it. Like it was just a little bit more motivation for his character, but it didn't really affect anything.
No, but he's such a psychopath so well, and to think that he was like retired from acting, and he comes in and he like nails the role so well. Like he sucked in Karate Kid 3. I don't care what anybody says. And then to come back and do the role so well now, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, he's just his voice. He chews the scenery pretty well in this show, and he's great. So I'm glad that we got him back.
So what else you want to talk about with the show?
I mean, just overall, I'm glad it didn't like go too much longer, because I think they were definitely running out of stuff. I mean, I'm glad that every character kind of got like their ending. They even name dropped Aisha, who was in the first 2 seasons, who had like one cameo since she left. It would have been nice if we had like seen her like watching the tournament or something. I know there's like some supposed drama with the actress, but they got her back for one cameo already. Like they could have had her like watching on TV or something. I was a little sad she wasn't in it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I'm trying to think if there's any other cameo. Yeah, I agree with you. The story of Daniel and Johnny at odds, and the kids need to wrap up. So whatever the next thing they do and whatever new story they decide to tell, at least we've gotten past those elements. Because the kids are in their like 50s now, so it's time.
Like, oh, we're in the under 18 tournament. I'm like, these guys are like all in their mid 20s.
The actor who plays Robbie and Daniel's daughter got engaged at the premiere of the show. Apparently, they kept that relationship secret. Nobody knew they were together until they announced the engagement.
I thought I had heard they were dating. I know that Jacob Bertrand and Peyton List are dating, or at least they were. I don't know. I don't keep up with that kind of stuff really, but that's interesting that you got some relationships from the show. Hope it works out for them.
I give Cobra Kai as a whole a 4 out of 5. I give the final episodes a 4.5 out of 5, just again on sheer fun and just fully entertaining television series.
Yeah, I'd probably give it this season as a whole, I'd probably give like a 4 out of 5. The show as a whole, maybe a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know if we do halves around here. It's hard to put like a numerical value on the show because I've been watching it for so long. I need to like rewatch it to give a good, honest overall score. I used to I rewatched it like semi recently, but I need to like front to back at some point. So,
well, everybody, like, comment, subscribe, go to 3geekspodcast.com, and we will chat with you soon.